Hello YouTube. This is a video correction, and I'm going to try and annotate the original Taurus PT92 video. A observant person in the comments figured out why I was struggling so hard to get the final spring in, when at the end of the night I kind of said the hell with it and just said maybe my spring is mangled and I'll deal with it later. And they also put together all the stuff that I had basically failed to put together. And it's embarrassing because I've seen many of these before. It just so happens that the one that I had here, I bought used in kind of the configuration it came in. And so when I came across the screws, there were 3 screws that were normal, fat thread screws. And then there was this one thin, dinky screw, and it had a special bushing. And it looked like, because it had been placed on the left side of the gun here, that was where it was originally, it had no purpose as a bushing there. It was non-functional. And so I thought someone had just lost the screw and then managed to find a replacement that happened to fit. It never dawned on me that whoever did it, the idiot, put it together wrong. And the whole trick of that screw, and the reason that that bushing is there, is because the bushing itself holds in the spring if you put it on the correct side of the gun. So because it was on the other side, it kind of threw my little brain off, and I should have noticed it right away, but instead I just kind of assumed someone had just lost an original screw, because that's a fairly common occurrence on a second-hand gun. But the facts of the matter are that this little bushing belongs on the left side. And once it is on the left side of the gun, it goes. And as you notice, the bushing itself is wide enough to overlap that spring. And so once the bushing is in, it holds the spring in. Now, the person added insult to injury in this process by the reason mine is now completely mangled is they used red Loctite when they put it on the wrong side of the gun. So not only did they disassemble the gun, put it together wrong, but they attempted to make it so it was essentially permanent that it was together wrong. Not sure what the logic on that one was. I'm just guessing they had no idea what was going on, much as I, at the time, when I was trying to deal with it, did not expect it, and therefore had no idea what was going on. So, long and short, and I'm filing this off because I just mangled the hell out of it. I had to heat it up with a blowtorch to eventually get it off. But the point is, with the the spring stays in place just fine and does its little job to add just a little extra tension there. And let me make sure that's relatively snug. So if you have one that wasn't taken apart by a moron before you got it, and then you should have no problem getting everything back together and in place correctly. I don't know if I mentioned it the other time, but also my grips are all messed up because he carved out space on the grip on the wrong side. This one has a special different sized support ring than the rest of the holes naturally do, and instead he carved out, you can even see the cut marks on the back. She, I don't know who it was. You know, it just annoys me. So anywho, now this would go together just fine with this screw holding that correctly in place. Now, I still need new grips because he wallered this one out, but that's the trick, not a trick, that's what's going on. Now, hopefully, when you were disassembling yours and you got to this spring, you figured it out pretty quickly that mine was looking different than yours, and my funky looking spring was on the wrong, or bushing was on the wrong side. Anyway, I'm going to try and annotate the other one with a link to here. If you haven't watched the other one yet, then feel free to laugh as you're doing it, as I get completely befuddled as to how this spring was being held in place by magically just the grips and no support. And the fact is, it's supposed to have plenty of support in the form of that bushing. So shout out, oh Lord, was it Ron, I believe, in the comments? Anyway, thank you, and hopefully this has helped anyone who got confused as I did when they hit this point. Cheers!